Hey there, boys and girls. It's Ralph Garman, and you're listening to Talking Codswallop. Good choice.
Hello, everybody. This is Ming Chen from AMC's Comic Book Man. You might know me from the Tell 'em Steve Dave podcast and the I Sell Comics podcast. Listen, I love podcasting. I love talking, but what I really love doing is talking Codswallop.
Hey, I'm Alicia Witt.
I'm Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. I play Podrick Payne.
I'm Ellipses, and you're listening to the Talking... Okay, I'm Mark Bernard, and you're listening to the Talking Codswallop podcast.
Hey man, it's Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, whose voice you were never used to hearing in the 90s until I started opening it up, man. And that's because I'm a podcaster and you're listening to a podcast, Talking Codswallop, right here, man.
Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
And I'm James, and we're probably going to have to talk really, really fast because this could end up being a very short one.
Yeah, it could, because we're trying a new way of recording. We're trying Zoom, so we've only got 40 minutes. So, you know.
We've probably got even less now.
How long have we got now?
I have no idea because I can't find a timer on.
Oh, okay.
Timer.
Okay, well, it's just going to cut off when it cuts off. Yeah. So there you go.
No salty tadpoles. This time it's the seat your pants stuff. Oh, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But so we're trying out Zoom because James has got quite an interesting interview. He's recording tomorrow for next week's episode. So, and who do you want to tell us who it is? Or do you want to not tempt fate?
I don't want to tempt fate. We'll keep it that way. I don't want to tempt fate. So,
okay. Yeah. But it's a very, very nice lady anyway.
It is.
That's coming on our show. So thank you.
We'll just throw one thing out there. It's a very nice, famous lady. There we go.
Yes. So it's not me and it's not Joanne. So
no. Although you are both famous and lovely.
Oh, well, I'll take that. Thank you.
Pleasure.
So, James, how have you been this week?
It's been a very interesting one. Very interesting. The only problem is I'm worried with half an hour. I can't do this enough justice, but I will try and tell you this story very quickly.
Well, we can always stop the recording and then start
That's
again.
True.
So it's all good.
We could.
Yeah.
So, regular listeners will know, regular salty tadpoles will know I've been unwell with long COVID. But we've all had this situation where because of COVID, we've not been able to see people as much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of the things that I was set up is over the weekend, I saw two of my old friends from school, which was great. Oh, I've not seen one of them for 2 years. But I also was lucky enough to see my friends Lyndon and Jen, who I've mentioned in the past with regard to Phantasm films and with regard to a ghost experience they had, and my friend Ben. And these are people I all used to work with. Anyway, we were having a film-based day, all three of us, well, four of us together. And I went to pick up Ben, parked up, etc. And Ben said, before we went off to see Lyndon, he was saying, I'll just ring him to tell him we're going to go get to his house, because I was all set to go there, different location. And he said, I'll ring him. I was like, I'm not sure why you need to ring him, because he knows we're coming. He said, well, I'll ring him anyway. So I went to go and check that I'd locked the car, and also to put the wing mirror in, upon suggestion from Ben's partner, Zara.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ben says to me, can you just come to a property with me? I said, why? What is it? He goes, you just come to Derek's down the road, because bit weird, bit of an oddball. He said, I take Zara, he's a bit odd. He says his alarm's tripping. So I was like, okay, no problem. So we go to the house, and he opens the front door, because he's got keys, and the internal door is open. So we step in, and Ben's saying, this is odd. He said he's saying that his silent alarm's tripping. So we're looking around. He said, I don't know what could have set it off. I said, well, it's more than likely the wind's blowing open the door that goes in. So we're looking around, and you can hear like bits of noise, something, and this is odd. And you look over to one part of the house, and there was a lifted like hatch area with what looked like blood on the floor. So,
oh God,
yeah. At this point, you're thinking this is interesting.
Yeah.
So I look forward, and this is what you see in the hatch: a pair of legs. So you're thinking, what the hell's happened at this point? And like Ben said, what should we do? I said, well, I think possibly at this point, we might need to maybe phone the police or something, because I'm going hello and looking around, and I get to one room and I push the door and there's somebody in that room. So I'm thinking, right, this seems odd. I also had a big sigh moment. So I just thought, oh, this is going to be messy. This could be strange. So I said to Ben, there is somebody in that room, and I could hear a bit of music, but I couldn't initially work out what I was listening to anyway. So I'm looking around, and Ben forces his way into that room. He gets into it, and I'm stood in the hall thinking what I should do. And Ben says, come in this room now, come in here. So I walk in, because we both had looked in this hole in the floor, and you're thinking, is someone broken in? Is there someone had an accident? What's going on? So I go into the room. Lyndon and Jenna are in the room, and I was just like, what? What? So I went, you son of a bitch. Went and hugged Lyndon and hugged Jen. And this is honestly what happened. They moved house, because I was like, why are you here? They moved house in June and didn't tell me. And they had been setting up a prank on me since the idea of buying this house in February. But how brilliant is that? I don't think I've even done it enough justice. But how brilliant was that as a prank?
I bet you were shitting yourself, weren't you?
I wasn't shitting myself. This is honestly what happened. And I don't think this makes me a horrible human being. But I did for a sec, because there were a couple of things. I think my actual subconscious made me realise something wasn't as bad, because I slightly heard the Phantasm theme playing, which Linda had set up as like a safety net. But also, when I looked at the floor, I thought, that doesn't look like dried blood quite right. But of course, you immediately see what looks like a very good pair of human legs, and you're thinking there's been some sort of incident or a break-in. And there was other stuff. Linda had set like
or a
speakers.
Murder. Yeah.
Well, I did wonder there'd been a murder, but Linda had set up like speakers around part of the house to me. But he'd gone as far as to tell his neighbours. He said, if some bloke runs out of the house, don't worry, it's a prank. He told everybody where I used to work about this, and like Amy, who works there, and others, very sweet, saying, are you sure this is a good idea? This could go very badly wrong. Gets better though. He'd even got all the people at the barbers I used to go to, that my father still goes to, in on the prank, but had sworn them to not tell my dad.
So what, because your dad would tell you, would he? Or
I don't think my dad would have told me at all. I think it was just to make sure that there's no way anything could have leaked out and got to me. I just think it was phenomenal. I think it was absolutely phenomenal. I cannot fault him. But they were going to take it to, like Lyndon was planning to take it to even more extreme levels, because he'd said stuff like he was going to put in a balaclava and run at me. He was going to have Jen making noises upstairs. He'd moved his cars, on the off chance I saw either of the cars, he'd moved all things that were like pictures of the family, etc. So there's nothing visible in the hallway. And the only thing he'd left was a letter addressed to Mr. D so-and-so. So, of course, the Derek thing makes sense. Because the concern was, if they'd run at me, I would have punched one of them.
That is such a good prank, though, isn't it? That's amazing.
It is brilliant. But this is where I'm a horrible human being. When I thought there potentially been an incident, this is what went through. This is what I did. I just went, because in my head I thought, this is really going to bugger the day up. I didn't think could something have happened to some poor person. I thought, it's really going to screw my day up.
Do you know what I'd be thinking? Wow, this is a story for the podcast.
I did afterwards. But yeah, Lyndon is clearly the guy you want. Lyndon definitely should be running his own version of Punk'd.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Or like what are they called? Like special effects kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And he even had cameras that filmed me going into the house with them and looking at where the dead body was and stuff.
Oh, well, if I can see that, I mean, we can. Yeah, can you let me see that? That would be funny.
Yeah, you can hear me on it going, "You son of a bitch."
Oh dear. Well, that sounds amazing. And yeah, if we can, well, if I can see the, yeah, definitely. But obviously, if the Salty Tadpoles can see it too, that would be cool as well. But obviously, if you don't want that to happen, that's fine too.
No, it's cool. What I would definitely say though is Lyndon clearly is very good at this, and the fact that I'd like to get him on to discuss this, if that's okay with you, in more detail, to give me to give the whole breakdown, because it was phenomenal. I'm not even angry. Well, actually, my first reaction was, what? And after I'd sworn at them, was like, what? How? Because I couldn't fathom why they were there. I initially thought they just like crashed in somebody's house. I was like, what do you mean you moved? When? June. I said, but you saw me in June. They said, yeah, we moved and just didn't tell you. They came to visit me. And we've been having conversations like, yeah, I really think you should move. We've been having phone calls where he'd been pretending he's still at his old address.
Well, I suppose if it's on the phone, you can easily do that though, can't you? So,
but yeah, well done. Big round of applause, Lyndon.
Well done. I'm doing mine gently and quietly because, you know, we know that the four-legged beast will bark otherwise.
I hope I don't disturb the four-legged beast.
No, not at all. No, got my headphones in. It won't be an issue now. I keep getting a frog in my throat though. It's good. Well,
you know how crazy my weekend has been.
Yes,
how's
I do
your
now.
Weekend? How's your? Well, I did tell you I had a story for this. So, how's your weekend or week been?
Well, it's not been as eventful, unfortunately. I did a spontaneous trip up to Poole yesterday to see my friend because she had a bit of bad news that her mum unfortunately had cancer. So I'm going to bring it right down. But I just spontaneously went up there and gave her some flowers. So I thought, obviously, catched up with her as well. But
I knew it had happened. I knew my telephone would ring. So it always happens every single time. Let's see who it is. Yeah, it's my father ringing. I swear he does this on purpose. Can I mute? Can I pause this? Can't I? Be 1 second, Gemma.
So anyway, so I did a spontaneous trip up just to sort of give her some flowers, but we also caught up with her and stuff as well. But you know, I just thought I like to cheer people up, so that was all good. But yesterday I managed to piss 2 people off by accident.
Okay. See, this is a different level of friendship. You like tell people Lyndon likes to scare the shit out of me. And confuse me.
I like the idea of scaring people as well, but not when they're sad.
Right, fair point. I'll set you and Lyndon to like just run your own weird, terrifying production company doing scary days. But no, sorry. So how did you upset? You did a wonderful thing, and I'm very sorry that your friends had bad news like that. We did a wonderful thing to be kind and helpful to them. But what did you do that pissed people off? Yeah,
I knew you'd want to get onto that. So yesterday I went to the post office. There's this company online that I love buying their clothes. Become almost a bit addicted now. It's called Carolina's Dressing Room or something like that. It's definitely that, actually, not something like that. And so anyway, on a Facebook group, you can like swap clothing. So, you know, like obviously if I get a lucky dip of leggings that I don't like, I put a post up and then somebody who likes them can swap a different type with me, if you know what I mean. Obviously.
I like it. That seems like a pretty good recyclable plan.
Yes. Yeah, it really is. And it works really well as well. So I did have a couple that I couldn't get rid of, but I've managed to get rid of them now. So thankfully, because I really didn't like them. But yes, anyway, so I went to the post office and I was speaking to the woman behind the counter and I was like, oh, here you go. I said, I just sort of went through exactly what I wanted, and I was like, oh, second class, recorded delivery. It's going to be £4.20 because it always is. And I was being all charming and lovely, but she was like, and it's like, oh, I'm telling you what your job is, am I? And I'm sitting there like standing there even. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're having a bad day, aren't you?
Yeah. But I was just like, I thought I'd answer all your questions so you didn't have to ask them. I'm like, oh, okay.
I don't think you were doing such a bad thing. You're actually trying to be helpful, though.
Yeah, well, I was, but then I suppose in a way it can be taken as a bit condescending as well, can't it? But yeah, I was like, oh, well, maybe that lady was just having a really bad day or something. So, it's not the nicest of, yeah, exactly. It's not the nicest of shops anyway. So I can imagine that,
It's our future plan that you should basically boycott the store.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go to beep, 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 beep in Weymouth.
Sponsorship deal is dead at that point, yeah.
Damn it. And another woman managed to piss off as well while I was driving to my friend's with the flowers in the car. And I was I was driving and I was on the road, but I was sort of deep in thought at the same time. But yeah, there was a lady at the crossing, but she'd only just got to the crossing as my wheel kind of touched the crossing, and she was like, oh, and threw her arms up in the air as if I should have did an emergency brake to let her cross.
She's collateral damage.
No, I know.
Did you have a stick with her? Because you could have got a few points for that.
No. Well, to be honest, it looked like she was probably in her 40s. So she wasn't old, but she wasn't young either. She wasn't young either. So she's middle.
Be careful, Gemma. You're treading in dangerous territory. We're going to be there for not too long. It won't be that long until we're 40.
I know. That's why I was thinking, I'll be young.
These bloody millennials.
I'm still a millennial.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was listening to a podcast where they were saying that the older millennials, and all I could think of was us two. Conversations. I'm thinking, shit, that's us. We're the older end of the millennials.
Yeah, we are. But I don't really care, if I'm honest.
Who are the ones that we're supposed to hate? Who are the ones that are younger than us? Gen
X.
Z,
no, that's
something.
Oh, I
Gen
don't
Z.
know.
Yeah, screw them.
What about Gen Y? I don't know.
God knows.
Gen Y even exist? I don't even know why we're talking about this again.
I blame Melissa. But anyway.
Yes, it's always Melissa's fault. So yes. I think, that should be a running thing. Maybe this episode should be called Melissa's fault.
Yeah, Melissa, this is all your fault. You started us thinking about our age. We were fine up to that point.
Yeah. All
was well. Felt young. Now, less so.
I know. Yeah, exactly. How dare she? How dare she? And I'm also happy to report that I haven't died from Nathan's chocolate, so that's good. Not yet.
Unless, yeah, exactly. Unless it's a slow-acting toxin. When you really suspect it, boom, hit the asphalt.
Yeah, he liked that episode because I asked him, because I was sort of afterwards, I was like, you didn't actually take any offense by it, did you? And he's like, no.
Yeah, see, I'd be even more scared at this point that he is in fact a murderer, that he's he's just doing it charmingly. Yeah, the end is nigh. Oh well, Gemma.
Oh well, it was nice. It was nice to have known you.
Well, what killed her? I'm pretty sure it's chocolate. Yeah. This is the man you're after.
Is it because she's diabetic? No, it's because it's poisoned.
Yeah, really, really badly poisoned.
Oh dear. So James, have you got any codswallops this week?
I think probably I've given you what is the best codswallop in the world, which is when you think you're going somewhere else that you are to see your friend, and you spend the entire day in a state of confusion where your brain can't quite still process the fact you're in a different house. and they've moved and they've not told you. You didn't think is there anything else they haven't told you?
That actually, those pair of legs were actually the previous owner.
Or when you have the thought that, am I actually like a COVID-based coma, or have I incepted myself?
I mean, you might have, but I'll thank you for involving me in it.
Yeah. Well, if you are really you, and if you're not just like a construct of my imagination.
Well, but thank you for having me in your imagination.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it shows you're important, doesn't it? If you are really you, in fact.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I'm hooked up to life support. My dad's going, can I be bothered,
And you're just recording podcasts.
Yeah.
Well, at least you got priorities.
I was going to say there are worse things to be locked into.
Yes, exactly. I like the fact that you said locked into.
Well, if I'm in like this weird whatever it is, I'm locked into it. So, or is this my version of The Matrix?
It could be. It could be. Yeah.
I'll rewatch the new Matrix trailer, see if I pick anything up.
Oh, I haven't seen that, so I don't know. Talking about
good.
Okay, cool. Before we go on to my Codswallop, have you seen the new trailer for Hawkeye?
No, I haven't.
Oh, James, it's so good. It looks so really, 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 really fun.
I'll have a look, see. See. It's not something I know masses about, but I watch it and can enjoy it. So I will definitely have a look, see, for that. Yeah,
because it looks like it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be quite comical as well as like a little bit of action and whatnot. So a little bit more light-hearted compared to the others that have come out. So
I'll put it into my list. There we go. I've loaded up the old. It's waiting when we finished our thing for me to have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think it was it looks really, really good to me anyway. So fingers crossed.
Excellent.
Yeah, we have to wait until November, but hey, November's not that far away.
Gives me something to shoot for.
Exactly. I'm sure they've got What If at the moment, haven't they? So, which I haven't really been watching them properly. Have you been watching them or not?
I have, but it is weird. Some of them are okay. I did not like the first episode. It just seemed too much, just a slight tweak of the normal Captain America thing with Carter. But some of them are good. I like one that was like, not give anything away too much, that had Michael Douglas's character. That was quite an interesting one.
Was that the second one?
It might have been the third one.
Oh, okay. I've only seen the first two at the moment, so right. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'll check out the other one then. But I agree with you with regards to Captain America or Captain Carter. It's kind of like they could have changed the storyline.
Oh God, yeah. They could have made it a little bit more interesting. It was too much for paint by numbers. Yeah, definitely. It was more about sort of giving the girl power type thing, I think, rather than anything else. But that's just my opinion with that one. So, I'd agree. But they could have made it better for her. They could have given her more to do with it. But anyway, yeah, exactly. But I'm not interested in that, Jim. I want to know, what is your Codswallop? Okay. What went wrong? It's actually not anything that went wrong. It's all good it's not from a personal point of view, but you know how we have obviously this podcast, which has been going for 4 years now. Mm-hmm. It's my baby. But it's your surrogate baby, and we've worked hard at this product, and we're getting it out there, We are. Yeah. So then Jason Manford comes along and comes up with I don't know if he comes up with it, but whoever channel comes up with the program called the Complaints Department, which is exactly our podcast. you funt. You total utter funt. I know. It really, really fucked me off. Boycotting. But do you know what I'm actually going to do?
I'm actually going to watch the program and steal their ideas.
You do that, I'll sue him. We'll sort it.
Yeah, it's like, how cheeky. No, but on a serious note, it's like we do really work hard to sort of promote this, and then I think it's Comedy Central, so there's no chance of us suing them. But
it's not looking good. Not looking good, is it? Really? Oh well.
No. So
there's room for all of us. That's all I can say.
Well, there isn't, because they're big boys. We're little fish.
I've got to lie to myself. We're a little minnow swimming around, and they're like some giant reconstituted megalodon.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But slowly, we'll just chip away at them slowly, and we'll take them down. How's that sound?
Correct.
Yeah. And the other thing that we've got coming up as well is we've got Squeefest, the 3rd, coming up, haven't we?
Excellente. Yes, we have.
Yeah. Which, when you're listening to this, it'll be the following Saturday. So Saturday the 25th, 4 p.m. is the time that you can tune in anytime between 2 p.m. and 2 p.m., obviously the following day. But if you want to hear us, we're on at 4 p.m. and that's 4 p.m. UK time. So, kind of you do the math if you're in a different country. But I've got a few things planned, a few things up my sleeve, shall I say. Like, James doesn't even know anything about it yet, so I need to run that.
I have no idea. I mean, I'll just forewarn on the Salty Tadpoles. I'm probably going to be knackered on the day, but I'm still going to bring it.
Exactly. Yes, and we're going to have Joanne with us as well, aren't we? So it's going to be the three of us.
Yes, we are.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, you're going to have to pick between your wife and your mistress.
Oh dear, this is just going to be me getting bullied. But anyway, Begora's also the only Irish thing that I think that Joanne's actually told me that I can remember.
And what's it even mean again?
Isn't it like by God? Remember?
Oh, okay. I don't know. Nobody taught me that word, so I don't know.
I don't even know myself. It just seems to have stuck in there. So.
Well, yeah. So, but anyway, go back to the show. I'll give you a little snippet of what we're going to be doing. So, James at the end of the show is going to be bringing some stories of the week that are dog related. Hopefully, that's a little thing for him to write down just to remember. I've come up with a game that is also dog related. So I'm not going to go into that because obviously James doesn't know anything about it and I like to keep it that way. But then there's also a couple of like Gemma's weird thoughts and just general sort of conversation and whatnot. So and there's a raffle as well. Sorry, I nearly forgot the most important thing. So basically what we're asking for is that if anybody can go to the Dr. Squee either Facebook page or the website, and there's the option to actually donate to the charity on there, which the charity is Phoenix Rehoming. And if you donate anything from like £1 or whatever you can afford, obviously, if you can't afford it, please don't worry. But yeah, and then if you send me a screenshot of the fact that you've done your donation, you get entered into a raffle to win a wonderful drawing that my mum did of a very, very cute dog with the little mat saying forever home and little hearts and stuff. So you can have your very own Jenny Williams artwork, basically, is what we're saying.
It's very nice. Yeah, it is very nice.
Yeah, it's a very cute. So it's not an original piece by her. She has adapted. Well,
you shouldn't have said, well, I guess,
Yeah, well, I don't like to lie to the salty tadpoles, but she's adapted the piece, but still, she's done an amazing job with it, and it's exactly what I wanted. So hopefully, it'll be one of our tadpoles drawings soon. So
it is nice frame, and it is brilliant. I'm just going to have to say again, Begora.
Well, again, we don't know what that word means, so that could mean it's crap.
I don't think it does. I think it's any salty tadpoles who are of an Irish persuasion, and obviously Joanne, please, please tell me if I'm using it in the wrong terminology.
Yes, Please do, because we would actually, I think we need to learn a bit of Irish, and then we can, sort that out. So we'll find out. And I think that's it for me, really.
Yes. Yeah, it's. I don't think we're going to be able to add much more to it. It's going to be a short one, I think.
Yeah, I think, well, we're both quite tired. We're both organising stuff for next week's episode. So, the live one, you get to see our beautiful faces on the live one. Or mine not so much, but,
I think I'll borrow Lyndon's balaclava.
Yeah, I think I will too. Oh, and we've got our very own T-shirts as well, which have been printed and are being shipped to us. So we may have a T-shirt supplier very soon. So that's quite fun. But obviously we wanted to try them out for ourselves first to see what kind of quality they were going to be. But in the picture, they look really good, don't they?
They do. They look very good. I'm looking forward to wearing one.
Yeah. So you'll get to see them next Saturday as well, because we'll all be wearing them. So
I'll have to leave myself notes to make sure I actually remember to put it on, and not just like wear a normal shirt.
Don't worry, James. I will be sending you a message at least 5 minutes before saying, "Have you got your shirt on?"
And I go, "Yeah, of course I have." And then you come on, you're like, "James, that's just a normal shirt. Go and get changed."
And I'll make you get changed on camera. That's what happens if you're a letdown.
Yes, that'll totally change the demographic of the show.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the other thing as well, that we're not that we really swear anyway. Well, Joanne does a bit, but we're not allowed to swear at 4 p.m. either.
That's okay.
So we're going to have to come up with some different words to use.
Yeah, we'll have to have like a list. Things you can and cannot say in a live broadcast.
Yeah. And I bet Dr. Squee will be the first person who actually swears.
Oh, I think definitely will be, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, well, I don't know. I feel like we haven't really talked for very long.
It does feel that way. The worst thing I imagine is that we hang up and it does the transfer and it says it's like cut off huge amounts of our conversation. But you know what? This is all an experience. This was just what we call a little an entree for our salty tadpoles.
Ooh, that might be the episode title now, James. Well done. I just need some spelling so that you can give me the spelling of entree.
No problem.
Okay. Well, in that case then, I think that we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I think I'm James, though after what happened to me the weekend, who knows anymore?
James might have fallen out of his own backside in the form of brown.